Sup my dudes, Valkyrja. Since you seem to enjoy this style of video, this is something I want to keep going forward, but I want to talk about Luocha today and how cracked Luocha is, because I know a lot of people really know he's good, but I want to explain why he's so good, how he's so good, etc. He has a couple light cone options, actually. He has some pretty good light cone options. I know yesterday I kind of messed up on saying no harmony, but there's actually some really good ones. I really like shared feeling. Shared feeling is pretty damn good. It just, when using skill regenerate 2 energy for all allies, this thing's nasty. If I can get this like SI5, I'm probably going to swap Luocha with this, because he uses his skill passively, so you're just constantly being a battery, outgoing healing increase. But then there's his one. This is the one that I say is his because he's on the cover of it. Increases the wearer's effect resistance by 16%, increases outgoing healing amount by an amount that is equal to 33% of effect res. Outgoing healing can be increased this way by up to 15%. Pretty damn good. Also very, very good. I don't really think outside of those there's too many more options. Yeah, increases max HP. That one's kind of whatever. When the wearer starts a turn, regenerates 12 energy for a randomly chosen ally. Quick Proco, you can use it. Once again, being a battery is nice, but then there's also post-op conversation. Post-op conversation. It's just energy regeneration rate by 14%, increases outgoing healing by 21% when they use their ult. So it could be used on him. It's not like as good as, in my opinion, shared feeling as well as perfect timing. I think these two are really good. Giving him more effect res is really, really nice. Quick Crow is pretty good for the random energy regeneration. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at with the light cones. I use his light cone because I like the effect resistance, and that brings us into his traces. I'll explain how his kit works in a second, but I want to go into his traces first. Basically, this one's really big. The chance to resist crowd control debuffs is increased by 70%. This is 70% effect resistance, I believe. I'll check. I don't know if it's separate or different, but I'll check in a second. When the skill's effect is triggered, removes 1 debuff from an ally, he gets a cleanse, and this can apply passively. It's really, really, really big. When an enemy in the field is attacked by an ally, all allies restore HP equal to 7% Luocha's attack plus 93. This is really, really big too. All three of these traces are massive. They're all really, really good. Now, I want to see his effect resistance. So set 32%. So it is its own thing. So it's 32%. I wonder if it like double procs. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. I have no idea how it works. So then we get into relics. Now, I've seen some people like try to build him like DPS. He doesn't really function well as a DPS. You do want outgoing healing still on the chest piece. But I run 4-piece cowboy. You can run 2-piece cowboy, 2-piece whatever. 2-piece cowboy, 2-piece healing set would work. I run 4-piece cowboy, but you just want to get his attack pretty high. I run him with speed because the more turns you get, the more like the faster you go, the more turns you get, so you can refresh that passive healing that we'll go over in a second. That's also really, really big. And then I run Fleet of the Ageless, increases max HP, a little bit more survivability. I have him on an HP planar sphere. That way he has more survivability because he can get low, but it's very unlikely. And also with Fleet of the Ageless, he increases all allies' attack by 8%, including himself. And as for Rope, just more attack. Nothing wrong with more attack. You can go energy regeneration here to get his ult up on more uptime, but I think it's high enough with how much he passively activates his skill. He generates a ton of energy, so I don't think you need an energy regeneration rope. I think just sending attack is pretty good, because even right now with mine having 2.1k attack, he heals for about 3.2k, 3.5k, depending on the buffs on him, thanks to Yukong and the Battle Pass Light Cone. He can heal for an enormous amount even on this. So now let me get into how his kit works and why it's so insane. So basically, he does nothing. This is going to like trip some people out, but he really doesn't do anything. You just want him to sit there, because what's going to happen is this talent is going to activate. And basically, whenever, it's his skill. It has a passive effect on his skill, but when an ally's HP percentage drops to 50% or lower, an effect equivalent to Luocha's skill will immediately be triggered and applied to this ally for 1 time. This effect can be triggered again 2 turns. This is why we want the speed. And if you have the trace, it gives them a cleanse, which is really, really, really big. So this is all really big. This is all really good. This is exactly how he works. He's really, really strong like this, because you're kind of just going to have him passively sit there, and anytime somebody drops below 50%, you're going to heal them. And with him being imaginary, if you manage to break with him, he's going to inflict imaginary break, which is insanely strong. It's something I don't need to go into too much. And then you'll see stacks below his face, similar to Yukong's. He has 2 stacks. Whenever he reaches 2 stacks, he's going to put up a field. Anytime an ally attacks an enemy inside the field, he's going to heal everybody thanks to the trace. This trace right here, he's going to heal absolutely everyone. Now his ultimate A lot of people are sleeping on this, but this is really, 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 really strong. His ultimate removes 1 buff from all enemies. This includes a lot more enemies than you think. Any enemy that goes into a buff state, that goes into an extra state, like the fire enemy, the fire robot, the little ice golem thing, and then the undead guy who summons his boys in. I'm sure you guys will know what I'm talking about. He removes all those buff states, which is massive because it makes, normally the only way to remove it would be to break them, or in the guy who summons his allies, you have to kill all of the like undead people that pop up. You have to kill all of them. And that kind of makes it so it's really annoying to deal with, but he just straight up removes the buffs, which is really, really, really good. And the fact that it's AoE, you can use it for AoE imaginary break if you're against imaginary weak enemies. This is really good. So after the technique is used, the talent will be immediately triggered at the start of the next battle, which is this field. His technique's very good too, because you get to start the fight with this field while you go ahead and build up your ultimate. So enough talking. I want to showcase how he works. You guys have seen it in other videos that I've made, but I want to specifically target him. I want to go into a Forgotten Hall stage, an MOC stage that really, really like showcases how strong he is. So here we're on MOC Side 2. We're going to go ahead and showcase his buff removal abilities and just how good he is as a healer against this guy right here. This is the undead guy I was talking about. He's going to be able to remove the buff. Now, there's some enemies he's not able to remove the buff against. I want to say that before. People will be like, oh, he removes buff states against everybody. No, it's not everyone. It's only specific enemies that he can do it to, but like the ice out of space, fire out of space, and the Sanctus robot, the big robot that goes into Sanctus mode, whatever it is. Those 3 enemies I have tested, he cannot remove the buff state on. I was testing them in between the video, so there's going to be a little bit of like cut here. But he cannot remove the buff state on every single enemy, but he can for most of them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this, and we're going to pop. So we start the fight in our Giga form. Hopefully Clara doesn't murder him too fast, so we can actually see the buff state removal. It'll be pretty nice to have. So let's go ahead, let's do this, put quantum on him, or physical, that works. I didn't even realize that he wasn't weak to physical, but now I know. Anyways, so we're going to just do a normal here for the weakness break. We're going to try to build up that ult as fast as possible for him, so we're going to burn a skill point, when in reality we probably shouldn't be. So here's what I was talking about. Here's the Mara summons. You can see he has this buff state around him. He has this ring that puts him into a buff state. So we're going to get Luocha's ult here, and then we're going to use it immediately. I want to showcase his buff state and exactly what it does, and we can check it after to make sure it fully actually does remove the buff state. So, draining hit. When there are other enemies with the rebirth, disciples of Sanctus will have the following effect: restores his HP when its attack hits. So instead of him actually self-healing, we're going to go ahead and try to, I don't want to weakness break him here, but I do want to go ahead and get ready to do lots and lots of damage. So now we're going to use his skill really quick, right? I can't resist myself, I can't resist. Alright, so we're going to do this. We're going to pop this, pop all these ults. Every ult after another. And then we're going to see, it should remove the buff state. I've done it before, so this should remove all the buff state. Yeah, buff dispelled, there you go. So now you can see his state is removed. The buff state has been removed, which is really big. I guess they just really don't want to attack, they really don't attack Clara. Fair enough. Claire's very scary, I get you. Don't attack the child. So, that all those buff ended up being for nothing. But you can see here, I'm kind of just ignoring every enemy. I'm just kind of going in. And you can also see Silverwolf's getting kind of low. And this is what I was talking about with his emergency. He doesn't really have access to an emergency heal. He kind of just has to pop off. So here we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then we're going to buff. And we got him. So, that's thanks to Quantum Break. Quantum Break's really nutty. And there we go. Whenever an ally is below 50%, you can see the passive healing procced, and now we're able to just keep cooking. And GG, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and do the other fight, because the other fight's going to showcase his healing more, but I really wanted to highlight his buff removing capabilities. Now keep in mind, like I said, it's not every single enemy. It's only certain ones, so it's very important to know which ones it does work against and which ones it doesn't. We're not going to have a repeat of the last one where they don't attack Claire at all. We're going to make them attack Claire this time. So we're going to start with Claire's technique, and we are going to just wipe the ever-living floor with them. So we're going to do this We're going to hopefully inflict physical break on him. Hopefully. There we go. We're going to buff this. We're going to pop this. And then we're going to do Luocha, because Luocha, his ult is AoE, so it can do decent damage. You can see it did 10k there, even without me building him damage at all. Bop, this should do pretty good damage. Yeah, 63k on the counter. Pretty good. That's pretty good for me. So I'm pretty happy with the damage that comes out. It did half his health. We're going to do this to clean up here with the good old little 30k. And then we're going to do this. We're going to break him. We're going to normal. Normal again. Do one more little normal, which should give us ult back, because ult was about to time out anyways. So we do that. And then we just look for the physical application. We're not going to get it, so we're just going to keep pumping damage into him. And this should be good. He should be dead before he can get up, because even whenever he wakes up, he's going to have to deal with the pop of being quantum broken. So yeah, that's basically Luocha. I didn't showcase his healing capabilities too much because tons of damage, but Luocha is a very, very, very cracked healer. Now, keep in mind, there's some downsides to Luocha. You saw there, he didn't have his emergency healing. I'm really glad that happened so you can see the weakness. He doesn't really have an emergency healing. It's all tied to cooldowns. So if you happen to be out of cooldowns, or if he's not in the turn order and a character gets low and gets hyper-focused, they can die. They can still die. He doesn't have the burst healing of Natasha's ult. He doesn't have Bailu's revive. He just has cleanses. He has buff removals. He has a bunch of really good stuff. So that's something to keep in mind. And the other thing, if you don't care about MOC, you don't care about this mode right here, if you're kind of just chilling and this mode doesn't interest you at all, then I don't recommend getting Luocha, because Luocha is very strong. But if you don't care about MOC, you don't care about strong, then just get your favorite units. If you really like him, then go for him. But if you don't care about this game mode, don't worry about strong units. Just have fun. Get who you want. Get 4 characters you really like. Slap them together on a team. You can beat almost all the content in the game. This is the only thing that's going to make you struggle. Anyways, that's basically the video. Luocha is really, really good. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.